Nama Om Vishnu Pathaya Krishna Pashtaya Bhutale Shrimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Kauravani Pachadine Nivasisha Shunyafadi Pashtatara Satadine Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar, excuse me, Shiva Sari Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna. So what I thought we would do, we would just again read 926 because we got halfway through the purport, but it's no harm. It's a wonderful verse and a wonderful purport by Srila Prabhupada. So I thought we can read that again. I'm just sharing my screen, and I have to finish either spot on time or a few minutes before time today because I have some service to do in the temple. I'm blessed to be dressing Radha Krishna, so I've got to get there in time. Hare Krishna. Can't be late for Krishna.
Never.
No. Hare Krishna. So here we are. Should be on your screen. Okay. Devotees, some are coming in again, or coming in. Hare Krishna. All right. Let's then 926. Let's just get a context. So Krishna, in the final 9 verses of this chapter, of chapter 9, Krishna is pleading, pleading with us, for our own benefit to become his exclusive devotees. As we've been discussing, those who worship demigods, etc., and the destination of those who worship the demigods, etc. So Krishna is encouraging all to have complete faith and to take shelter of him. So now he's describing how easy it is in comparison to the proper worship of the demigods, which can be very costly. It has to be qualified priests, etc., etc. All right, so some of the Mongols got his hand up.
But you read yesterday, Murli Prabhu. Maybe you can finish from, or you read again from the beginning, everything.
Okay, why not?
Because I think you left here in the 3rd chapter, verse 13. Shri Krishna explained.
Yeah, well, what I do is, did I press record? Yes, I did. I think I did. Yeah, and what I do is I just read from the beginning because it's such a wonderful purport that Prabhupada gives. So why not? Let's hear it again. Okay, so Patram Pushpam Phalum Toyam Yo Me Bhakti Prayachati Tadaham Bhaktu Uparitam Asanami Payatmanaha. Okay, translation. Sorry, moving things around on my desktop. If one offers me with love and devotion, a leaf, a flower, a fruit, or water, I will accept it. Purple. For the intelligent person, it is essential to be in Krishna consciousness, engaged in the transcendental loving service of the Lord, in order to achieve a permanent, blissful abode for eternal happiness. Okay? Anyone want to achieve a permanent, blissful abode for eternal happiness? The process of achieving such a marvelous result is very easy. Yeah, I was reading some comments on this verse as well, that because it's worship of Krishna and he is the supreme personality of Godhead, he is above everyone. One may be mistaken to think it will be the most complicated or be the most difficult. But here, Krishna is explaining, no, it's very easy. As we read on, we will see. Please, anyone has some questions or comments as we're reading, then please read to ask.
Is that because we complicate things in life and we think it's very complicated?
Yeah, you could say that. Generally, the absolute truth, sometimes it's described that Krishna consciousness is so simple that you can miss it.
It's true.
Because it's the absolute truth. From as you mentioned that most philosophers and philosophies and can be very, very complicated. But anyway, although it's very easy, also it's has an aspect in our own experience of not always being so easy. Let's read on.
Is it because we are conditioned?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Prabhupada said that the process is easy, but the application is often difficult
Mm.
because we're conditioned souls. Yeah, it's exactly that. So
Plus we have to, sorry.
yeah,
Plus
so
we have to spiritualize our ego, mind, intelligence.
yeah, we have to rewire our hard drive. We have to
I've heard the
rewire.
same. I've heard the same, that it's a simple process, but not easy to attain. And I always think, is it because we're so conditioned? Because a lot of people find the chanting even hard, or should I say, finding the time to do the chanting. So I
Time
think
will
that's
be.
to do with the conditioning.
Yeah,
I think time will be. I think it's just because sometimes we are so tired that we find it hard to wake up. Because time it is, but if we're gonna sleep 6 hours a night, then you don't have time. But if you
Yes.
go to sleep a bit earlier and you wake up very, very early, then you have time for everything.
Yeah,
But it's
agree.
other way around. We put sleeping first,
Mm.
then life.
That's why they find it hard.
I'm talking for myself now.
Yeah, and me.
yeah. I'm sure we all have our own experiences, but in comparison to what's required to worship the devas, actually, it is very easy in comparison. Yeah, but because it's very profound, because it means a complete transformation of consciousness, then also it's often a challenge, as Mother Chandravali said, because we're conditioned in a certain way. So that means our mind, our intelligence is conditioned to act in a certain, or is conditioned to seek out pleasure for the self in everything that we do. But we're trying to kind of revamp and upgrade so that we can act in such a way that everything we're doing is an offering of love to Krishna. And that's described in this verse and the next verse as well. But let's read on. We all can, the process is simple, but the application is often difficult because we are otherwise conditioned. But still, this purport is very encouraging and should give us great encouragement just reading this purport. So let's continue a little. And please, if anyone does have any comments as we're reading, please, we welcome that, because it's nice to have a discussion on this very important verse. Okay. It does not matter what one is or where one is situated. Okay. The process is so easy that even a leaf or little water or fruit can be offered to the Supreme Lord in genuine love, and the Lord will be pleased to accept it. No one, therefore, can be barred from Krishna consciousness because it is so easy and universal. Okay, it's so easy and universal. So you don't have to be a brahmana, you don't have to be aristocratic, you don't have to be a king. Yeah. No one is barred from Krishna consciousness.
Just simple hearted.
Yes. Who is such a fool that he does not want to be Krishna conscious by this simple method and thus attain the highest perfectional life of eternity, bliss, and knowledge? Krishna wants only loving service and nothing more. Krishna accepts even a little flower from his pure devotee. He does not want any kind of offering from a non-devotee. He is not in need of anything from anyone because he is self-sufficient, and yet he accepts the offering of his devotee in an exchange of love and affection. To develop Krishna consciousness is the highest perfection of life. Bhakti is mentioned twice in this verse in order to declare more emphatically that bhakti or devotional service is the only means to approach Krishna. No other condition, such as becoming a brahmana, a learned scholar, or a very rich man, or a great philosopher, can induce Krishna to accept some offering. Without the basic principle of bhakti, nothing can induce the Lord to agree to accept anything from anyone. Bhakti is never causal. The process is eternal. It is direct action in service to the absolute whole. Now, there's one story that's coming to mind that really illustrates this here, which we just read. No other condition, such as becoming a brahmana, a learned scholar, or a rich man or a great philosopher, can induce Krishna to accept some offering. So again, I'll see if you can, and so anyone can tell us what that pastime is, and perhaps I better give you a clue.
Can I just
Go on.
to
please.
me, what comes to my mind is Duryodhan when Krishna came and he offered him nice meal, nice place, and he goes to Vidura's house to eat a banana leaf.
Yes, 10 points from Mother Chandravali. That's the exact story we was thinking of. And it illustrates it very nicely. Duryodhan, as she said, had a great banquet, a great fanfare, because it was before the battle. So there's a lot of politics were going on who's going to be on whose side. And Krishna is a bit of a mysterious person, bit of a mystery, because he's neutral. Whose side will he take? It wasn't clear, because Krishna is completely unattached and neutral. So Duryodhan was scheming and skiving in order to attract Krishna, to ask him to be on his side. As far as I know, that's the story. But what happened? He walked past the great banquet offered by Duryodhan, and he went to Vidura's house. Then someone can tell us what happened at Vidura's house?
Vidura wasn't in, and I think his wife was there. And she was so in awe of Krishna coming to the house that, you know, she was just like so like overwhelmed that she actually she peeled a banana and gave him the skin and threw the banana away, and Krishna ate it. I might be wrong. Is that?
Yeah, no, that's a story. It's the first time I heard the detail of like that Vidura wasn't in. Perhaps he was out shopping. Perhaps he was out in the back garden. Yeah, interesting detail. But yeah, that's the basic story. Krishna came, and neither Vidura or his wife, they became so overwhelmed at Krishna's presence that they offered, and Krishna ate the peel as well.
Yes.
He's happy to eat the peel. It's a nice pastime that illustrates this very much. So no conditions such as becoming a brahmana, a learned scholar, a very rich man, or a great philosopher can induce Krishna to accept some offering. Okay. Without the basic principle of bhakti, nothing can induce the Lord to agree to accept anything from anyone. Bhakti, now this part, is anyone can explain what this means? Bhakti is never causal. The process is eternal. It is direct action in service to the absolute whole. How is that relevant to what Prabhupada has just said? What's the purport to this? Anyone can hazard a philosophical speculation. That means it's allowed. You're allowed to speculate philosophically based on Sastra. Bhakti is never causal.
We learned from Madhurya Kadambini that bhakti is not, that doesn't have a cause. It's a circular going something.
Yes, thank you.
Bhakti, you receive it, isn't it? It's not something like you make it. You can't receive. You need to receive it from someone who has bhakti.
Not, I think I mean, that's correct, but I think you're going in a different direction here, Madhumanga. I think Mother Rajkishore, as far as I can make out, I think she's taken us in the right direction. So from the Madhurika Nambini, yeah, so bhakti, from bhakti comes bhakti. Yeah, it's not dependent on anything material. So in that sense, bhakti is never causal. They're never causal. So bhakti, there's a phrase which I forget now, that bhakti inspires bhakti. It's bhakti in the heart of a great devotee that gives bhakti to someone else. So it's not
Bhakti
based.
Sanjayate Bhakti.
Yeah, say that again. Bhakti sanjayate bhakti. Is that correct?
Yeah, Bhakti gives rise to Bhakti.
Yeah, bhakti gives. Yeah, thank you, Mother Sachari. It's mentioned many times in Kamukhamudi. So yeah, I think we're getting there. So Prabhupada's just explained no other condition, such as becoming a brahmana, etc. So bhakti is not dependent upon that. So yeah, so it's never caused by that. Bhakti is caused, is inspired by bhakti. Okay, yeah. And that process is eternal. Yep. It's never ending. It is only increasing. It never goes backwards. It can become covered. You can press the pause button for some time, but you can't press the erase button. Yeah. You can't delete your bhakti, which is good, isn't it? You may cover it for some time, but by Krishna's grace, then you will come to it again and you'll unmute it and you'll carry on from where you left off. It will never be deleted.
It's not just that we can not do it. Even if there's a lot of oppression or whatever, very difficult family, the bhakti still goes on. Bhakti still develops because it's not casual.
It's not causal, yeah. And so that's one of the symptoms of pure bhakti. As you know, there's different types of bhakti, but pure bhakti, there isn't anything in the material world that can stop it.
Or suppress it.
Yeah, or suppress it. Yeah. And actually, bhakti shines in difficulty. Prema shines brighter when one is in difficulty, if one has pure devotion. Yeah. There's wonderful discussion about prema in one book. Bhagavad gives commentary and he describes about that. Yes. So, yes. There is no impediment. Actually, yeah, the impediments increase bhakti. Yeah. Right. So here, Lord Krishna, having established that he's the only enjoyer. Okay, sorry about that. Krishna's the only enjoyer. Yeah. But we have to, but if we assist him in enjoying through devotion, we will experience a happiness that we never knew even existed, because that's our constitutional position, is to act in such a way to give Krishna pleasure. Presently, we're trying to give ourselves pleasure. Yeah, but if we act in such a way that what I'm saying, what I'm doing, what I'm eating, what I'm reading makes Krishna happy. Yeah. So here, Lord Krishna, having established that he is the only enjoyer, the primary Lord, and the real object of all sacrificial offerings, reveals what type of sacrifices he desires to be offered. Okay. What type of sacrifice? If one wishes to engage in devotional service to the Supreme in order to be purified and reach the goal of life, the transcendental loving service of God, then one should find out what the Lord desires of him. One who loves Krishna will give him whatever he wants, and he avoids offering anything which is undesirable or unasked. Yeah, so then Prabhupada, interestingly, gives this detail. Yeah, thus meat, fish, and eggs should not be offered to Krishna. If he desired such things as offerings, he would have said so. Instead, he clearly requests that the leaf, fruit, flowers, and waters be given to him. And he says of this offering, I will accept it. Therefore, we should understand that he will not accept meat, fish, and eggs. Vegetables, grains, fruits, milk, and water are the proper foods for human beings and are prescribed by Lord Krishna himself. Whatever else we eat cannot be offered to him, since he will not accept it. Thus, we cannot be acting on the level of loving devotion if we offer such foods. Yeah. So there might well be some people who, in ignorance, offer such things to Krishna. Yeah.
Only Jagannath Puri, some they offer fish to Lord Jagannath.
I don't think so. Not in a temple. That's
Not
for
in
sure.
the temple, but there is a little tribe there.
Yeah, I mean, there's rumors about that in the residence of Puri.
I took
call
photos. I have photos. I have photos.
you have evidence.
I have evidence where they were buying fish, and they
Yeah.
had Jagannath in the house.
Yeah, so they call it a swimming vegetable. But Sattvika devotees don't take, and I've never heard that they offer that in the temple. I've never heard such a thing, but some of them may eat it. Okay, let's move on. Okay, in the third chapter, verse 13, Sri Krishna explains that only the remains of sacrifice are purified and fit for consumption by those who are seeking advancement in life and released from the clutches of material entanglement. Yes, so those who eat food that is not offered to Krishna verily eat only sin. Quite a strong statement, isn't it? So sin is like, generally when we say sin, it means you are doing something. Yeah, but here in that verse it says you can actually eat sin. Yeah, it means if like you don't offer your banana before you eat it, then you're eating a sinful banana. You're eating pap. Yeah, it says that. Okay.
Because you can see the example of, was it Bhakti Siddhanta, the mango thing?
Yeah.
But, you know,
You can tell that story?
everybody knows, I think.
No, some might not know. It's good to be reminded.
Bhakti Vinod Thakur got some mangoes, and when Bhakti Siddhanta saw a mango, he decided to eat one. And then Bhakti Vinod Thakur said that, look, son, they're not offered to Krishna. It was meant for Krishna has to eat first before you can have it. And then Bhakti Siddhanta was very remorse about what he did. And for the rest of his life, he did not touch mangoes.
Yeah.
He said he was an offender.
How old was he? A young boy, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think 5.
5 or something years old. And he ate mango that wasn't offered. And his father brought it to his attention. So he never ate mango in his life again. Yeah. He said, I'm an offender. I cannot take. So yeah, so
Like I was thinking of grains, you know, we've heard how the rain comes and the grains have,
yeah.
you know, sins. And then those who eat grains without being offered, they are eating sins.
But then can you explain, please, a little bit, when the Ekadashi is finished, how the sins go away from the grains?
Because
go on.
Are they evaporating or?
no, because you break your fast by eating the Mahaprasad, like the rice that's offered to Krishna.
Yeah,
Well,
that's
Offered, there's no sin in it.
yeah, that's the traditional way Vaishnavas will break their fast. They will break the fast
Break
with
fast with, yeah.
Mahaprashadam. So a lot of devotees have dried. You can get these things from Puri. You get the dried rice, you know, and you take 1 grain. Or like as far as the details of the pap and the Kadashi and what happens and the sins, I don't know. That's quite complicated. Explain
because
what
it's still the grain has the sins. Let's say it's Ekadashi and you still have Mahaprasad. It doesn't mean you can eat the Mahaprasad.
No, breaking the fast, you can eat Mahaprasad.
Yeah, if you're breaking the fast.
That means then
You should eat Mahaprasad.
break fast with eating grain.
Yeah.
But even those maha grains on Ekadashi, they are sinful.
No, because once anything's offered to Krishna, there's no sin.
Becomes purified.
Otherwise, if you can eat a tomato or a potato or something which is not meat or anything, not offered to Krishna, you're still eating
I
sin.
think he's asking, can he eat grains on Akadashi because they're maha grains?
I got maha grains, so on Ekadashi I could eat grains. It's still pure maha.
No.
You should. We've been ordered not to eat grains on the Ekadashi, and so the Vaishnavas will not even. Prabhupada says that the devotees will not even take Mahaprashadam, grains on the Ekadashi. That they will save it to the next day. So we follow that vidhi. So we follow that injunction. Yeah.
Because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said to his mother not to eat grains.
Yeah.
on Ekadashi.
Yeah.
Can-
Save it
can
for
I-
the next day.
Can I just ask, if like when you offer prasad to Krishna, and obviously it's offered and you can eat it, but like say for instance you're at work and there's fruit or something and you eat it. I mean, I always think I just say Shri Vishnu, Shri Vishnu, Shri Vishnu 3 times. And is that good enough? Is that counted as offered?
I mean, there's different circumstances we're going to find ourselves in. Okay, the highest standard is you got an altar,
Yes.
or you eat prasadam that's been offered and cooked in a special kitchen.
Yes.
I mean, that's the highest standard. But often we may not be in that situation. Maybe a friend's house, maybe a work engagement or whatever. So it may not be the place to get your bell out, put a picture on the, start ringing the bell in the middle
Mainly
of
it's
the
work,
office.
like when you're at work,
So
it's-
therefore, devotees, sometimes you have to do that on planes and when you're traveling, you
Yes.
make some type of offering. You're conscious that this is it's Krishna's grace that now you're going to eat. So you may say a little prayer for you. So then you say a little prayer,
Yes.
It may not be the full what you do at home, but still it's good to be mindful that it's by Krishna's grace he's given me this packet of crisps.
Yeah,
And
I always
offering
wonder,
like that.
what is the right way?
Yeah.
Generally, Mataji will.
No, I
Just think in your mind. Think in your mind and stay the
Yeah, I
mantra.
mean,
you remind you of like say your Guru's mantra, Prabhupada's mantra, Panchatattva and Hare Krishna.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because I remember I read somewhere that in early days, it was fun to just offer anything and say Shri Vishnu, Shri Vishnu, Shri Vishnu, or whatever, and just eat it. So the mind is not set. You just want to eat it. So you
That's
quickly-
that's a good point, Mother Chandra. But sometimes we get in a bad habit. Shri Vishnu, Shri Vishnu, Shri Vishnu.
Yeah.
It's
You don't
easy.
even-
It's easy, isn't it?
Yeah, no.
So we want to try and be a little
My
bit
Guru
mindful.
Maharaj,
Guru Maharaj is
was saying, my Guru Maharaj was saying once when he was young, he went with a devotee in the in a shop like a kiosk.
And they offer
And
the whole shop.
the whole shop they start offering it, and then he brought a big pizza inside the car and said, "Okay, let's offer it." So it was like looking what's happening.
So we hear this thing, but that's a good point you're making, Chandravali. Baba. Sometimes we may get into the habit of Shri Vishnu, Shri Vishnu, Shri Vishnu, and there may not be much devotion there. So we might want to offer prayers to the spiritual master.
Thank you. Thank you.
Sometimes we're very, very busy and we are kind of on the move. The world's a passionate place, so sometimes we have to
make it a point.
Make some compromise, but at least let's be conscious.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So, in other words, down here we're reading. Okay. In other words, that every mouthful is simply deepening their involvement in the complexities of material nature. Wow. By preparing nice, simple vegetable dishes, offering them before the picture or deity of Lord Krishna, and bowing down and praying to him to accept such a humble offering, enable one to advance steadily in life. So you may do that at home. Prabhupada's saying here, have a picture, bow down, you know, bow down before your altar when you offer, bow down, mister. Yeah, praying to him to accept this offering. So by that, we can make advancement. And yeah, to advance steadily in life, to purify the body and to create fine brain tissues that will lead to clear thinking. All right. So it cleanses up the brain. Yeah. Above all, the offering should be made with an attitude of love. Krishna has no need of food, since he already possesses everything that be. Yeah, Krishna doesn't need your chapatis or sabji. Yet he will accept the offering of one who desires to please him in that way. The important element in preparation, in serving, and in offering is to act with love for Krishna. And one of the comments on this verse as well is it described how it's not just the act of the offering, but everything that goes on before you actually offer the food. An example was given perhaps in a more agrarian culture where you may be, you know, if you're blessed to have a garden, then you may plant vegetables there, and that doing that gardening is also an act of devotion. Picking the vegetables is an act of devotion. Preparing the vegetables is an act of devotion. Cooking the vegetables is an act of devotion. And then making the offering is an act of devotion. All right. So you can try that. Shopping in Tesco's is an act of devotion. Standing in the queue is an act of devotion.
What about, can we offer all the vegetables in Tesco? Take out the picture and start offering the whole vegetables in Tesco.
No. You should cook it. You should engage in a sacrifice. So even the money, even the work that we do, if the fruits that come from that work, it's you're buying food to offer to Krishna, then it purifies your whole work, becomes a sacrifice. Yeah. Then your whole, because you're using the fruits of that work to make an offering to Krishna. So therefore, everything. So devotees' whole life is one of an act of devotion. So it's not just devotion when we offer it, there should be devotion when we cook it as well. Yeah. Then Krishna will be very pleased to accept it. You know. Sometimes, I mean, we won't get into the discussion, but just a little bit. Sometimes the question comes up within a temple community. Sometimes devotees have doubts about other devotees. Do they have devotion? And like that, you know, did Krishna accept this or not? You know. But even if, for instance, perhaps the offering wasn't done correctly for one reason or another, but if the prasad comes in front of you and you're seeing it as prasadam and you're eating with devotion, then you will get the benefit, even if there may have been some mishap in the offering. Yeah. Anyway, that could be a big subject, but let's read on. Okay. The impersonalist philosophers who wish to maintain that the absolute truth is without senses cannot comprehend this verse. Yeah, they cannot get their head around it. Of this verse of Bhagavad Gita. To them, it is either a metaphor or proof of the mundane character of Krishna, the speaker of the Bhagavad Gita. But in actuality, Krishna, the Supreme Godhead, has senses, and it is stated that his senses are interchangeable. In other words, one sense can perform the function of any other. This is what it means to say that Krishna is absolute. Lacking senses, he could hardly be considered full in all opulences. In the 7th chapter, Krishna has explained that he impregnates the living entities into material nature. This is done by his looking upon material nature. And so in this instance, Krishna's hearing the devotee's words of love in offering foodstuffs is wholly identical with his eating and actually tasting. This point should be emphasized. Because of his absolute position, His hearing is wholly identical with his eating and tasting. Only the devotee who accepts Krishna as he describes himself without interpretation can understand that the Supreme Absolute Truth can eat food and enjoy it. All right? But what does he enjoy? I can't hear, Sonia.
The love with which the offering is made.
Devotion. The
The
devotion.
bhakti. The bhakti. And yeah, you're stirring it with devotion.
You are muted, Chandravali Mataji.
Yeah. And there are some quite extreme examples. I know the stories are told. I might get this story a bit wrong, but there was one lady in Puri. Some of you might have heard this story, and let me get this right. She was making khichdi or something, and she was offering it to Lord Jagannath. Anyone can correct me on this story. And she was cleaning her teeth at the same time. Cleaning her teeth at the same time, which is bringing in this offering to offer it to Lord Jagannath. Then, of course, a village is a village, and word gets around. Everyone knows what everyone's doing. So it came to light that this lady was in an unclean state. She was brushing her teeth while making the khichdi, and she was offering it to Lord Jagannath. So the Brahmins, the priests came to hear of this, shock, horror. So I think they banned her from bringing in these offerings to Jagannath, because they have their own kitchen, but it seems like she was bringing in, just like on Rath Yatra, people can bring out the offerings to the Lord and they offer it near the cart. So anyway, that happened, and but she happened to be a great, great devotee, and she was actually a great devotee. And Lord Jagannath, I forget what he did, but he chastised the priests severely in a dream.
Refused to accept the prashadam. He refused to accept any boga from any priest.
Yeah, right. So you know the story, yeah. So he went on strike, and he refused to accept it. Anyway, so there's an example. Now we can't follow that, and we shouldn't imitate that. That's called spontaneous devotion. So we should follow the vidi. We should be clean when we make an offering to Krishna. But there's an example of Krishna is very much attached. He really enjoys the devotion of a devotee. All right. Okay, that's.
We have that other example of Sabri and Lord Ram.
Yeah, can you tell us this story? I've always forget it. Go on again. She was tasting something, and then.
Because the boar, I don't know what the English name is, they are either sweet or bitter. So she wanted to offer the sweet ones to Lord Ram, and only way would be to taste it. So she was tasting it, and the sweet one she would offer it to Lord Ram, and the others she would throw away.
So she would take a bite out of it. Okay, yeah. You may have.
Yeah.
But there is another story. There's another story when Krishna was little and he was playing with some kids, and they went at home. They were all eating from the same spoon, I think. And then one of the, I don't know, Pandavas, wherever who was there, he came and chastised everyone and took away Krishna from the home and said, you can't go play there because they eat you eat from the same spoon. You can't like that. And then he got very upset and he wanted to go back, because all they were offering with devotion, but they didn't. I don't know. I remember some.
Yeah, you're going to find many nice stories like this, emphasizing this point of how Krishna is very much attracted to devotion, even if sometimes the vidi is not followed. But again, we shouldn't imitate that, okay? We need to be clean. We need to offer it on time, etc. So we worship Krishna in that mood, yeah, or in reverence. Okay. Any other questions about this? Otherwise, we can move on to next verse, which is also a well-known verse and very important verse as well. let me just check if I want to add anything more. There's quite a bit here, but I think we covered. Yeah. This verse and texts 14 and 22 describe advanced stages of devotion. All right, so that's an advanced stage of now. This next verse, according to Srila Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur, describes a step below. Yeah, Nishkam Karma Yoga. For those who are not able to practice pure devotional service. So, in other words, whatever you do, offer it to Krishna. Yeah, and and there's a bit more, but we can mention that when we read the verse. So let's read the verse before we run out of time. Hare Krishna. So Mother Mongolpur, you got your hand up. You may read.
I can try.
7.
Yat karosi yat ashnani yaj yuhoshi tadasi yat tapasyasi kaunteya tat kurushva mad arpanam. Translation: whatever you do, whatever you eat, whatever you offer or give away, and whatever austerities you perform, do that, O son of Kunti, as an offering to me. Purport: this it is the duty of everyone to mold his life in such a way that he will not forget Krishna in any circumstances. Everyone has to work for maintenance of his body and soul together, and Krishna recommends herein that one should work for him. Everyone has to eat something to live. Therefore, he should accept the reminiscences of foodstuff offered to Krishna. Any civilized man has to perform some religious, ritualistic ceremonies. Therefore, Krishna recommends, do it for me, and this is called archana. Everyone has a tendency to give something in charity. Krishna says, give it to me, and this means that all surplus money accumulated should be utilized in furthermore the Krishna consciousness movement. Nowadays, people are very much inclined to the meditational process, which is not practical in this age. But if anyone practices meditating on Krishna 24 hours a day by chanting the Hare Krishna mantra round his beads, he is surely a meditator and a greater yoga and
The greatest yogi.
the greatest yogi, as substantiated by the 6th chapter of Bhagavad Gita.
Read it. Yeah. Yoginam apishavesham makatanta atmanaha. Yeah, the last verse of chapter 6. So any immediate questions or comments on this or observation? Yat koroshi, yat ashnashi. So whatever you do, whatever you eat, whatever you offer or give away. So
give it to me. Krishna says, give it to me. So I feel like what I kind of do, even if we're giving any presents to anybody, birthday, whatever presents you're giving, you buy whatever you buy, offer it to Krishna. Then you're giving maha.
Yeah, very nice.
I
That's
always
what,
tend to do things like that.
yeah.
Or even if I buy anything for home, me, kids, anything, it's all offered to Krishna first.
Nice.
When you get your salary, take the salary and put it on the altar and offer it to Krishna or the Lakshmi.
Yeah. So that reminds me, in the early days in 26 Second Avenue, when Krishna consciousness was first beginning, then all the hippies that would come, they would hear about this, that you should offer everything to Krishna. So they would offer any trousers they got, any flares or anything they got, they would offer it to Krishna. And I'm sure some of them were probably offering unofferable things to Krishna as well. In different intoxication. But they used to do that. They used to bring their trousers or bring shirts before they would wear it and they would offer it on the altar. So they took it quite an extreme way, now we may not do that, but that's a nice sentiment. But Mother Chandravali is showing something that she does, which is very nice. So anything she may buy for the family or whatever, then she offers that. Do you just place it on the altar or you make a prayer? Or?
I'm doing offering to Krishna. And on the side of the offering, I put the garments or whatever I bought,
Yeah, it's nice.
put it together. And the same with the Lakshmi, like Madhumangal is saying that. So like whatever Lakshmi you get, you can like do a monthly kind of set up donations. Like I do sponsor a girl, I do Gurukul patronage. So
Yeah.
it's like Lakshmi is going, bit of Lakshmi is going, and the rest you can use. So
Yeah.
instead of doing a big donation at whatever time, you do it every month a little bit. So it's kind of
Yeah.
balanced, you know?
And that's a, you know, we have a worldwide society, so there's many different aspects of our society that you may be inspired by and attracted to actually donate, you know.
Yeah.
And
Boga to the temple when I cook Rajbog, so I take boga. Just take boga, fruits, whatever, when you go.
yeah. So this is what it means, like what Mother Chandravali is saying, and is here is that this is what it means to mold our life in such a way so that we introduce certain practices and certain habits that we cannot forget Krishna in any circumstance. Yeah. Whatever we're doing, shopping or moving around in this world, somehow or another, we should do it for Krishna. Yeah. Whatever you do, whatever you eat. So sometimes a question comes up, can we offer pizza to Krishna? Should we offer pizza to Krishna? Or pasta to Krishna? Now, we don't offer that on the altar. What about at home? I mean, in a restaurant, they do. So here, that means, okay, so here, this is why this verse is a step down from the previous verse in that sense. It's mentioned as Nishkam. Okay, so we've got our attachments. We've got our, I could say, our attachments, like to pizza, say. All right, okay. But at least offer it to Krishna. Whatever you do, whatever you eat, of course, on the temple, in a temple, and you may have this stand at home, I don't know, but it's not absolutely required at home. But in a temple, we very much strict to offer what is traditionally cooked, you know, which the traditional preparations that Prabhupada taught us, you know, to offer to Krishna. Yeah, samosas and kachoris and, you know, what else is there? There's hundreds of things. Kachoris and sabjis and, you know, that what we cook for Krishna. So that's on the altar, and the Krishna's personally present is the Archa Vigraha. But whatever, okay, you might be at home or whatever, but whatever you do eat, of course, it has to be what Krishna said, you know, vegetarian fare. Okay, then you offer it to Krishna. Okay, you want to eat pizza, you want to eat pasta. Then at least offer it to Krishna. Whatever you do, you eat.
Can I interrupt? Sorry, but then pasta, you can't offer pasta. Because pasta, if you buy from a batch which someone had it, they eat from it someone else, and then you can't really offer it to Krishna.
You buy from a
The same with
batch?
any grain.
No, if you buy, let's say, in a bag, in a plastic bag, let's say
sealed
half
bag?
kilo. Yes, in a sealed bag. That bag, in the same time, was made in a big batch, and other people bought from it and already ate.
With everything, Prabhu.
No,
And I have
it's
questions. I have questions with this putting
Yeah,
money
Mother-
on the altar.
Yeah,
Money,
Mother-
first of all, it has cow tallow, so it's not vegetarian if you put it on the altar. And then you use the same money to buy something else for Krishna. So that's like you're doubly offering it. That doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, well, let's just go back. Let's get now. Madhu Mangal Prabhu has these certain standards. Yeah, this is a standard, and in one sense, it's devotional. He's kind of strictly considering pasta not offerable. Okay, that's great, but others may not have that. You know,
I just wanted to
so-
ask you one
so
question
that's-
because many people
Yeah,
ask me,
sure.
you know, sometimes we go on business trip or so go somewhere and we can't make prasadam and whatever, if we
Yeah.
can get any vegetarian, even if it is or with onion or garlic, they have no choice. They have to starve themselves to death or eat with garlic and onion. That's good.
Oh,
All right, I can say a few. Okay, now so far, I mean, I took up Krishna consciousness in 1990, and so far, I've never been in a situation where I've had to make that compromise of eating onions or garlic.
No, Prabhu,
I've never been. I've
like
never
for example-
been, personally speaking. I've never been in that situation. So there is ways and means to actually avoid certain things. Sorry, Mother Jamavati, that
yeah,
yeah.
what I want to say, for example, the only escape people saying there is falafel, there is contains onion or something, because people, you may have different lifestyle, but people are working physically and they're traveling on business trip or something somewhere else, not just in the temple, but with families or somewhere. And they said, we have nothing to eat. If I don't eat anything, I'll starve myself to death. They have no choice.
I mean,
So what about this? Can they offer or how to make prasadam to them?
I mean, if that really is the situation, I mean, even it's described in Sastra that if you have no choice, you can even eat meat as long as you to actually maintain your life, you know. So yeah, if it's an extreme situation and the only thing on the menu is onions or something,
Yeah, for example, Prabhu, if you go to Egypt or somewhere else, I
and
would
you're gonna,
you know,
and
there is
you
no
might-
prasadam. There is no prasadam. If you, and even if you cannot cook, so you'll be done. So you have no choice. You can eat fruits or something. Of course, good if you go on holiday. But if you're not on holiday on 1-2
Yeah.
days and you have to give class or lecture or something or business trip.
yeah, I mean that okay, if that's the situation, yeah, then what can be done? But
But what mantra shall we shall I suggest them, advise them to use?
yeah, well, there's only one mantra, it's the Maha mantra. But why can't you just? I mean, why can't we just eat fruits and nuts?
Yeah, Prabhu, not everybody
are
can eat
widely
just fruits
available.
and not everyone can do, you know, when we don't do much physical job, we are spiritual, that's fine. But other people working different, you know.
Yeah. So you're speaking about other people who are not.
No, the devotees, when they're doing physical job, they have to support family, they have to work hard, they have to go abroad, they have business meetings, presentations or something, but they want to maintain somehow sadhana or standards.
Anyway, I've traveled a bit and I've been in many different situations, and I've never had to eat onions to survive.
No, not just onions, but food with, for example, if you eat what I say, falafel or hummus or somewhere else, it's the best escape
What?
you can manage. Get it.
Food that has humans in it. Say that again.
Hummus.
You must.
Hummus.
Yeah, hummus, yeah.
Which is made from chickpeas.
Yeah,
Chickpea.
exactly. I
Is
make
it
myself at
chickpea?
home, that's fine. But
Out of chickpea cream you make.
yeah, but
Hummus.
there are many cases, and we live in different world. We when we travel, we can go to the temples or something. We're fine, but not everyone
Anyway,
lives
the
like
point
us.
perhaps we should make here is that you're going to have your own particular standards. All right. You have your own particular standards. Of course, we have to eat to live. And if you're really in a difficult situation, okay. But there are, you know, if that's your standard, then if that's someone's standard. But there is, I mean, there are many devotees who work and they travel and they're professionals, and you can speak to them of how they go about and what they eat and things like that. So as much as we can say on that.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to ask if there is any mantra, because I don't know what to say.
Prabhu, I thought I would just say devotee
go
on practical. Yeah. Oh, okay. After you then.
No, go on, Nitai Mata.
Okay, I was saying, when I was in Dubai, I knew a devotee who's quite a leader. He's in a highly qualified job. What he does when he travels, he carries an electric cooker. Okay, he carries an electric cooker, and he will have khichdi.
Yeah.
He will have khichdi, and he won't take anything else.
Yeah. So here's an example of ways to get around.
And he takes yogurt. He buys yogurt, and he will have he has to stay 7 days. He will have khichdi.
Yeah.
I
So-
have the same thing. The
you go.
two boys are professionals.
Yeah, one is professional, but It doesn't
go away a
inspire
lot.
any, you know, it doesn't sound inspiring for people. They have to take care of families. And if I'm going on business trip to cook for myself, sorry, I have to lose my job because I can't get bothered. I'm being serious.
Anyway,
Well,
my
yeah,
experience and other devotees' experiences, there is ways to avoid onions and garlic. If you really want to avoid it, you can. You have
But then onions and garlic you can have as a medicine if it's medicine, isn't it?
generally,
but not eat them a kilo of onion and garlic every day. You're not allowed that to indulge. But if it's medicine, like Ayurvedic medicine, to take in a very little quantity, I don't think it's the same, isn't it?
No, it's medicine, yeah, but you know, when you go on couple of days and you have seconds counted, there are some devotees who are really active. And they
Well-
asking me what should I advise, and I don't know what advice. I say, yeah, well,
Well, to buy their own food and make it, cook themselves, simple food. Yogurt, milk they find in the shop, fruits, and then they offer it. And it's good a
Yeah.
bit thing like this.
there's always fruits and
Yeah,
nuts.
Bhagavad, you know what mine do? When they're going on these business trips, like Guksho went a couple of weeks ago, they tell wherever they're going that they're vegans. You know.
Yeah.
So whatever they get, you know, it's veg.
yeah, but
salad.
vegans eat a lot of onion and garlic. Vegans eat a lot of
No.
onion.
They
There's
don't-
many, like for instance, if you order a Jane meal, then it's got no onions or garlic.
Yeah, I was
Yeah,
just going to
the
say that.
That's
vegetarian-
great. That's great. Yeah, yeah.
If you order a vegetarian meal, it's a good chance you can get onions and garlic.
yeah.
Jane,
You won't have it.
most
Anyway.
Janes.
We've opened up a big subject,
Holy Prabhu, it's very late.
and
very-
I have to go because I'm dressing Radha Krishna. So we better stop here, and let's pick up this purple, which we read the purple, didn't we? For this, yeah, we read this. Okay, so next week we'll pick up 9:28. So very nice discussion, very exciting discussion about Prashadam, what to offer, not to offer. Sorry, Mother Gayatri, we didn't get to your query.
Don't put
about
money on the altar. It's not
putting money in.
clean. It's not clean. It has cows in it.
Put
Put
them
it in the
next to it.
donation box.
Next to
Okay.
it.
Yeah, put it in donation box. Ah.
Don't put it in the
Radha
money is a
London
very
Gara.
sensitive thing.
Thank
Okay.
you, Prabhu.
Hare
Thank you so
Krishna,
much.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Great
Ram,
Brahmana.
Ram, Ram,
Ram, Ram,
Yes,
Hare
yes.